Yo, 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 everybody. It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the SML podcast with my co-host, none other than the fiery, the on spot, the multi-gaming phenomenon gamer. I just made that up. Can you believe that? My homie, Project Storm. Storm, how you doing this fine morning, man?
Hey, I kind of like that catchy name, man. You know what I'm saying? I might not remember it tomorrow, but I like
I
it.
already forgot it.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm doing all right, man. But a lot of people are not doing okay. We got some people that's
Uh-oh.
sick out here. They're desperate. They're tired. You know
Oh,
what I'm
man.
saying? And they're bored.
Oh,
So
man.
they be coming up with some crazy stuff. MM2K, and you notice how I just jumped through the damn intro and all that stuff, man. I want to get right into it. I'm like a greyhound ready to get out of the gates, man. I'm ready
I
to
hear
go
that.
get it. You know what I'm saying? So listen, man.
Hear
Don't
that, brother.
don't restrain me, man. Let me be free. Let me be
I
free
hear
so I
that.
could share my thoughts, man. Everybody sharing their thoughts, y'all. What's going on? Happy Saturday morning, man. We're about to kick this thing off. So if you got your coffee, don't spill it on your lap. Is all I ask. You know what I'm saying? Just
Put it out through your
sit back,
nose,
get
man.
ready to enjoy the show. But what's going on, brother?
Absolutely, absolutely. What's going on? We see everybody in the chat. Hey, Storm, you got your spectacles on. Can you shot everybody out in the chat while we go and let everybody know that we live on Discord and all that other good stuff, man?
All right, hold on. Let me hold my head down like the old teacher from back in the day, man. Mr. Holt. Shout out to Mr. Holt, the math teacher, man. All right. We got Victor Del Mastro. See, I can't really see it because you got the pin up there. But anyway, Victor Del Mastro is in the house.
Victor.
Shout out to you. Good morning. Hope everything is going. Hey, we got the brother Ray Sherrod up in the building, man. And he didn't even sneak up on us this time. Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Yes, he
did.
did.
Yes, he did with the little sneaky eyes.
He,
The little sneaky. That's
he
sneaky race
snuck up on us
rod.
after he said something this time. How the hell you sneak up on somebody after you say what's up? Oh my God. All right, Christian Woods in the building saying, what's up?
What's up?
And now your mama knows what's going on, bro.
What's
Y'all
going
know what
on,
the
good
time
brother?
it is. And now your mama knows is in the building bright and early. Sneaky Ray in the building. I hope y'all been doing pretty good, man. Treating each other's moms with respect and everything. To both Ray and now your mama knows, man, because I be cracking up, man. Everybody on Twitter and everywhere else that these two right here, you can't let them get in the same room, y'all. You know you're gonna be entertained. I love it, bro. I mean, the tweet that Ray dropped the other day, man. I just couldn't help but I cracked up. I busted out laughing, man. Y'all keep on doing that. That's what we need during these times, man. Who else we got right here? We got a member in green, Brian E. Bob. What's going on, bro?
The
What's
homie
going
Brian.
on?
What's going on?
I ain't even played my damn franchise game. Hey, Brian, let me say something real quick. I took a loss. I actually took a loss, man. I played Prodigal, and I beat. I got the win. He dropped out a little early, respectfully, and everything, and I didn't get the dub, man. So it kind of threw me off. So I may not have played my game, man. I apologize. I may not have played my game, but I don't know. We might have to talk about that one, Brian. We got Project Storm in the house. We got the Gaming Advocate.
Chase.
We appreciate you. We saw you drop that retweet out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I did the same thing. That's love right there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's the brother too.
Absolutely.
Outriders for the win. Outriders for the win. We got Stefan Robidas. All right. Saying good morning to everyone. It's good to see you up in the building as usual, Stefan, man. Hope all is well. Cloud Gamer 201. Daryl Smock Jr. You know what I'm saying? Live from the bed.
House,
he's just chilling right now. You know what I'm saying? He got the breakfast, got the juice and everything on the side. He's just kicking back with his hand behind his head and everything. Like, yo, this is about to go down, man. We got Shadow 2020, y'all. The year that a lot of things went down. We got Megatron X in the building. You know what I'm saying? Meg is so awesome, so fantastic. Good to see you. And I think that's pretty much it, according to what my glasses are showing me, man.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Project Storm, for that. And just as a reminder, this is all part of the TSI Endgame Saturday. We're doing an initiative. This is why we're at this special time. Our good brother Chase, the Gaming Advocate, had a great show, great interview before us. So thank you for kicking it off for us. And then after us is going to be Eddie Player One. So as soon as he gets everything together, you know what I'm saying, we're going to have the link. Hopefully he'll give us the link and you can go right over to him. And then so on and so on. So we got a great schedule for you today. And at 3 p.m. Eastern today, we will be having a TSI podcast, or typical TSI podcast. Shout out to Gaming Advocate with the $5. Thank you so much, brother. He says, show some super chat love. Drop those super chat TSI Endgame Saturday. Good morning, MM and Project. Keep up the great work, advocacy. We also got our good brother Daryl Smock Jr. He became a Sure Shot member. Golly, all the great goodies with that, man. Exclusive live stream chat rights for our member live streams, full access to our Discord, a whole bunch of other stuff. Welcome and thank you so much, Daryl Smock Jr., for all your support. All right, so y'all, this is part of the PNTS Network. Because this is an hour, I'm not going to go through every single show. Definitely go to pntsnetwork.com, which is pinned above, to see all of our great content. There are plenty of shows with me, Project Storm on there, all that good stuff. Shout out to Project. He said, had to match the Gaming Advocate. Shout out to Storm with the $5. All right. So definitely check us out on PNTS Network. And again, check us out at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Well, check us out for the whole block. From now up until 3 p.m., we're going to be having continuous content for you. All right. With that said, we got some things to talk about. And I know Storm is chomping at the bit to get at them. Okay. And I can't hold it back. You know what I'm saying? I can't hold it back. So our major topics today are going to be the Jason Schreier, as I call it, the Les Pose, the thing that had my good brother block me, and what to derive from all this recent media hellstorm blitz on Stadia. Shout out to Stefan Rabitas. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Word.
Love you guys. All right, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, then we're going to focus on the games. If you notice that on this platform, Storm, I've derived from a lot of the going back and forth with 9 to 5. Shout out to Brian Evolve with the 5. I said I'm not going back and forth with them. I'm gonna talk about the games. I'm talking about the crossplay and that's coming and all this other good stuff. We're gonna pivot from all this negativity because it's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon because there's an agenda out there. So we're gonna talk about the games. We're gonna talk about some other things within this hour. With that said, let's kick it off with the big story, Storm. All right. Look, bro. We had the media blitz since SG&E. When SG&E was closed down from Stadia, all of its first party efforts and things that were tied to it for a large part that were closed down. The theme, Storm, was, now this is what we can't forget. And this is why if you become a member like Daryl Smock, he will witness things like Channel Talk, where we revisit things that were talked about in the past, so we don't have that gamer-written short-term memory, right? We got to remember that the thesis of all this is that Stadia is shutting down. Not that Stadia is going to a bad business model. It is Stadia is shutting down. Remember, that's what everybody was saying, Storm. Stadia is doomed. Just shutting down. That's why they're doomed. Mm-hmm. So you had that 2 weeks ago. Then you had driplet of story that was negative about Stadia. All right. Class action lawsuits, what was said in Q&As, just to make Stadia look bad. It wasn't about, it wasn't surrounding the fact that Stadia was supposed to be shut down. It was Stadia looks bad. They're bad people. They're horrible people. They're doing stuff that isn't done elsewhere, Storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we come out with the facts and we told y'all, for those of you that may be, for lack of a better term, ignorant to the process, what you heard about what happened in that not the Q&A so much, but what you heard about what happened with the email in advance and all other stuff, that's regulatory in the Fortune 500 world. Unfortunately, you heard me and Storm on our good brother Eddie Player One's podcast, where me, Storm, and Eddie talked about experience. Well, me and Eddie really talked about experiences that we had with the same thing. So this isn't a Stadia thing. This is a legal HR Fortune 500 thing. So then they tried to besmirch Stadia and make them look bad. Now what you're seeing, Storm, is you're seeing people do these deep dives, these exposés on Stadia. Yeah, Stadia fell a few 100,000 short on so-and-so projections, which we already knew, right? We knew that. Jason Schreier told us that at launch. He already told us that. Yeah, Stadia was trying to go against the big consoles, which is only partially true. That's conjecture from him. But I don't want to get into all that right now because I really want to get to your thoughts. And then you had the VGC article that was released today that talked about, SG&E projects were shut down. Yeah, there was a project with Kojima that was shut down, right? Now, as much as buzzworthy water cooler talk as that may be, my question for you, Storm, is where does any of this information correlate with the subject matter that everybody was trying to beat us over the head with 2 weeks ago? Where is the conclusive proof that Stadia is shutting down? You had the best in the game. The best in the game. I applauded his efforts. Jason Schreier, that will leave no stone unturned. Stuff that people didn't want to find out at Naughty Dog, he found out. Stuff that people didn't want to find out at Bethesda, he found out. Bethesda got him on a blacklist because of it. This all-encompassing of everything evil Stadia, where supposedly all the walls are crumbling around them. The best investigative journalist did a deep dive, and he could find nothing conclusive that leads to the fact of Stadia closing down, like how everybody tried to beat us over the head with a few weeks ago. My question to you, Storm, and then I'm gonna shut up, is what does that say to you? And what does that say about everybody that wants to cling on to hope that Stadia is going to shut down?
Well, hey, I've done a whole lot of thinking, man, and I can tell you right now that I've learned that in the past that Jason Schreier has covered other platforms as well and called out some of the stuff that wasn't so positive. So for that, he gets respect and a pass on that. But when you come back and you try to regurgitate some stuff that we've already talked about in early 2019 and all of that, like we've already covered some of these things, right? And then so when I read the article and I see that he's trying to do what others do, which is make this new news somehow. They try to grab the old news, stack it up, you know what I'm saying? Make it tall and everything and make it appear to be new Stadia news all of a sudden. Now, to anybody that's on the platform playing these Stadia games and anybody that's hearing this shit every week, week after week after week, we're going to raise some eyebrows, man. Some of us are going to sit up in our chairs and say, how dare you? You know what I mean? What the hell is he talking about? What? Wait a minute. We're going back to this now? So what it seems like a trend, MM. It seems like, for example, MM2K is a journalist over there on such as said website or whatever, and he just pulled from Brian Evolve and Daryl Smock Jr. from their website to add their thoughts to his article to make it more valid and credible. But I'm like, all right, so one thing I'm tired of this right here, man. If you have anonymous sources, y'all, now listen to this, man, because I know sometimes we do it too, man. Anonymous sources. Nobody knows who the hell those anonymous sources is, so leave that out of the equation. Come up with your own original thoughts. Go do some research and dig and find something that we have not heard about. Don't have people like, man, I wonder who the anonymous sources are. Oh, man, damn, they must be somebody important maybe it's Phil Harrison. See, they know what they're trying to do when you start seeing articles and videos and stuff like that. They all have the same agenda. Kill Stadia before it grows the legs, which Stadia already has. It has legs already. But before they can run, let's go ahead and try to snipe them real quick. Take them out. Because one thing we know about Stadia is MM2K, it has the most potential for success, man, when it comes to the cloud gaming platforms, right? And services. Yep. So, yes, that's why we're still seeing the hate. And I know some people are like, oh, man, it never dies. It never gets old. But I want to remind people that Stadia hasn't died yet. It hasn't. So because it's not dead, you are going to see more and more of these, like MM2K implied early in the intro or whatever. You're going to see more of these. But if I'm Daryl Smock Jr. or somebody in the chat that loves this platform, Sean L., who are like, this shit just doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, are we just going to keep scratching our head? Or are we going to go ahead and rebut that and combat that? Because we know better. We know better. Now, some people might not choose to engage in all of this MM2K, and I can't be mad at them because it will bring you down. But for me and MM and other people who get hit time after time, man, with all this dumb shit in our DMs and on Xbox, I went to go play some Outriders demo yesterday on Series X, right? For example. Mm-hmm. As soon as I get online, bloop, message, Bloomberg article. Oh, this right here, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Stadia is dead. I'm telling you it's dead. This is what I'm saying right here. Here's the proof. Jason Schreier is the most well-respected individual out there. He's the person that covered the Bethesda. He did all this. That's what I heard before I can even start gaming on the platform, man. Uh-huh. And it's all because I rock with Stadia. I like Stadia. I play Stadia. I choose to buy into it. I buy the games I want to play on the platform. But I'm not in bed with any other Stadia employees. That's not what I do. I play games. I respect the platform. I put it out there. You know what I'm saying? It seemed, but it made me feel good at the same time, It made me feel like I was somebody. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, I keep bringing up this saying, man. Nobody ever hated on a D-head, right? I'm just going to keep it like that, right? If you think about that, right? If you're not cool, nobody's going to pay you any attention. If you're the little geek like I was, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, with your glasses on, with the tape around it and everything, nobody's going to really want to pick you to pick up basketball and stuff, right? Yep. So because Stadia is not that geek, he's the cool guy, most popular and all that, which I was in 12th grade. You know what I'm saying? I evolved, man. I evolved like Brian. Hey, yo. So nobody's going to want to, really give you that attention unless you're somebody, right? And that's what Stadia is right now. It's kind of like, it's kind of like something that people should pay attention to because the technology is far superior. And I got to keep saying that so that hopefully one day they will hear this and then they'll be like, damn, Project Storm has a point. Maybe people are hating on the fact that Stadia came out with negative latency. Well, damn, that's just a catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean it works. Mm-hmm. Well, tell that to the hundreds of videos that I've made with no major connection issues or major lag spikes and all that. Just go check out my channel, y'all. Check it out if you haven't already. Project Storm. I made videos in 4K and I dabbled in the 8K. But most of the time, it is Stadia. You know why, MM? Because Stadia works that well. Stadia keeps me thinking like I can see through all the BS and I come back every time to Stadia has so much potential. This is what I love about the platform. How the hell are they able to do this? How the hell can I jump on a platform after going and playing on a 3080 PC build that I built myself, that I enjoy like you wouldn't believe, that I was on last night playing Raze 2, and while the homie 6'4" was playing Raze 2 while he was live streaming, and it was awesome. Outriders demo, awesome on PC, all that, right? But I could still come back to Stadia. You know why? Because Stadia is out of this world, man. It's out of this world, and people don't understand that. So this is why we're seeing a whole lot of this. If they can't kill it, they still have to beat it. That's all. You got to beat it. You got to continue to chop at it until it's dead. And then they'll have that grand party, y'all. If it dies, that's what they want. When it dies, we'll have this grand old party, man. I can't wait. We're going to have a ball. And I'm going to wear my best tuxedo and everything. That's what people are doing, man. But anyway.
Well,
I'll leave it there.
To prove, and shout out real quick to the, let me see here. I don't know why my screens is stop acting goofy screens. Shout out to Freddie Fredo for becoming a Dose member. Thank you very much, Freddie, for your support. Appreciate you so much, good brother. And shout out to Sean L with the $5. He said Stadia is just the popular thing to dunk on. It's honestly sad at this point. Absolutely. I've been told by content creators behind the scene, man, look, Stadia is just what we, like Sean L says, is the thing that we want to dunk on. And I'm a great point that was brought up by Sean L. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. But I want to show you something, Storm, that proves what you were just saying. Because people think that, we're capping and all this other stuff, and that y'all just making this up and y'all speaking in an echo chamber. I heard that a lot yesterday until I had to drop links on fools and shut them up. You know what I'm saying? But let me see if I can go here to the web display. Go. This is an article from Forbes that before all this stuff happened, right after the release of, I think it was what was this, in January? Yeah, January, right before Hitman 3 was about to come out, right after Cyberpunk came out. This is the dynamic of where the discussion was going about Stadia for many people. Not all, but for many. This article reads, the best next-gen video game console isn't the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. And the writer goes on to say, I have to admit, I didn't really expect to be saying this, but Google Stadia is the most next-gen console on the market. When I first reviewed Google Stadia, it was a mixed bag at best. Now as I survey my lineup of expensive storage, confined next-gen, current-gen systems, I can't help but see it. Stadia is by far the most next-gen of the bunch. It was a surprisingly great experience with Cyberpunk 2077 that compounded this realization. Though I'd be dabbling more and more with Stadia before that, I've been dabbling more and more with Stadia before that, including a remarkably good-looking, well-performing Destiny 2 foray. As I've noted elsewhere, Stadia is quite possibly the best place to play Cyberpunk 2077. Even though it may not be as rich as a high-end gaming PC, the game still actually runs the best and looks nearly as good on Stadia. It's leaps and bounds better than PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, where a last-gen version of the game is running on new hardware. Now, I say this to all of you that are listening. If this guy can see this with limited access to data and analysis and figures and stuff that we don't have access to, what do you think Google is looking at? Google is looking at, look, to Jason Schreier's point, which I don't doubt this, that we fell short of projections. And yes, maybe earlier on, we did have to give out controllers. But now we're going into fourth quarter 2020, we started to see a turnaround. We're starting to see more and more positive articles. We see that family sharing was a success. We see that the YouTube program where we gave people Premiere bundles was a success. And then to cap it all off, Cyberpunk 2077, and any brick and mortar where we sold our units had the units sold out where they were never sold out before. So if this writer, this lowly writer at Forbes, Mr. Eric Kane, can assess that, what do you think Google assessed when they crunched the numbers? This is what's going to make the platform more sustainable than our long-term goals. So what did they do, y'all, in all likelihood? They said, look, man, we were going for a more grandiose type of ordeal, and it just is not, we don't have the appetite for it. We're going to have to let SG&E go for this more grandiose ideal that is causing articles like this. This article wasn't written because the person had gleamy eyes over exclusives coming 5, 6, 7 years later. This person is talking about AAA experiences, Cyberpunk and Destiny, that he has in his hands right now, that he's arguing is better in a lot of ways than high-end PCs. So if he can see this, if Google has data to see this, why isn't it fathomable that this is what they're pivoting for? Now you can argue, Storm, that the pivot is sloppy. I've argued that. But again, the best investigative journalist was not able, Storm, to uncover anything that spelled doom and gloom. VGC is not able to dispel anything that spells doom and gloom as far as it shut. Nobody has anything conclusive, even Eurogamer. Now they got a new article that I'm seeing being peddled out here that, again, gives you no new revelations. All you see is conjecture and rhetoric. Nobody can find anything conclusive. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think? Do you think there's an agenda out there, Project Storm, for people that want to? I mean, I've never seen a campaign like this. If you got all this conclusive news, trim the fat off and just put the conclusive news on there and drop a report. Why do we keep seeing articles being dropped on Thursdays and Fridays, and now Saturdays, for it to bubble up over Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when Stadia does its when it releases its blog information? Do you think there's an agenda out there?
Most certainly, man. But who cares about that agenda right now? We see this as plain as day, right? What I care about the most is what's going on in this chat right now. You know what I'm saying? We got Patrick. Shout out to Patrick, man. Who reminded us that actually the Stadia Cyberpunk giveaway was planned as confirmed by Google spokesperson.
Absolutely.
Quote, and Google spokesperson clarified that the company did not resort to doing giveaways, but rather always intended to do so regardless of customer enthusiasm for Stadia.
Exactly.
Now, MM2K, I'm going to ask you something, right? Because I think it's a valid question to ask. So when we had people in this chat like Chariot Man Gaming, Ray Sherrod, Megatron X,
shout out to
Bob,
them, yes.
you know, Freddie, Fredo, Daryl Smock Jr., man, Calvin Morgan Sr., and Charles Aron and Victor Del Mastro and Shadow and everybody else, man, that's in here right now. MM2K. How come none of these publications and these, you know, other sources or whatever, how come they're not coming directly to us who play Stadia, who talk about it every damn week? Wait a minute. How come they're not showing up, hitting us in the DM? Hey, Project Storm, I noticed you always talk about Stadia, man. And you and M2K try to counter our point all the time. Why don't we set up an interview or just have a general conversation? Just the DM. Can you answer this for me? Why is Stadia so awesome for you and others? You know what I mean? What's so hard about that? Why do they have to? They always have to? Like I said, they piggyback off of others like them, and then they run with this whole narrative that if they ever if they dug a little bit deeper, they would see that again, it's going to make them look stupid in the end, man. Like it's going to make it at some point. Because if Stadia has a big announcement, and I'm almost 100% sure they will, and it won't be that the platform is dying, you know what I'm saying? But when they have an announcement, that they've acquired somebody or they have a big game in the works and what Project Hailstorm really could be, when that news drops, then you're going to see them pump brakes like they always do. But see, we pick up on those patterns, y'all, those trends and all that, those themes. We pick up on that, and you all do too. But we're not going to just sit here and just let it keep happening, y'all. This is what it's about. It's not let's go to war with these publications and these journalists and everything. It's not about that. But obviously you got some attention because you got blocked, my friend. Obviously you had some attention because somebody showed up in your chat, my friend. So obviously they're listening to what we have to say. And this is why I'm saying what I say right now, man. It's not about war. We came in here peaceful. We came in here just wanting to be founders and have a happy ass time. Meg and everybody was playing Red Dead online, talking about this is the best Stadia community. This is the best community in gaming. This shit was a fact. It still is a fact. But no, wait a minute. They're gaining ground. They're breathing over there. Let's crush them right now. All three of them. Let's crush them right now before they could get out here and spread this infectious disease. That's what it seems like. So you ask, have you ever seen anything like this and all that? No, we haven't. We might never see it again. The level of hate. Stadia should have closed their doors already based on the sheer numbers of hate. The hate is in the millions, it seems, man. I mean, but yet it still goes on. I still play games and they look pretty damn well. I'm looking forward to this one right here that's on the screen, Outriders, because when it comes to the platform, it's going to have cross play and we will continue to play that. Hopefully everything will be well with it. And we'll be playing that game, having a good old time, retweeting and all that stuff. And they'll see it. And then they will still come back and say, well, Outriders is on the platform now, but that's just Outriders. What else is what's coming in 2021? They haven't said anything on the roadmap. We'll have to deal with all that, man, but that's all.
Yeah. I mean, look, to answer your question, Storm, that you put out there, here's the timeline of things that I've seen. And y'all let me know in the chat if y'all could dig me on this. And also, let's see here. Let me put it back up here on the screen. This article. This came January 14th, 2021. It sent ripple tides through the gaming community. People felt some type of way about this. People were saying, trust me, I got sources. People were saying, wow, that's bold. But for all intents and purposes, a lot of that is true. And a lot of people were upset about it. A lot of the console warriors were upset about it. A lot of people in the mainstream media, they were antsy about it. Are we going to have to give Stadia praise. How's that going to make our prior communications look? Is that going to make us look foolish? Damn, man. How do we pivot from this? And you started to see people trying to pivot by saying it was Stadia's fault that we said what we said, even though what we said was false. It was Stadia's fault. They were trying that. They didn't know how to move around that because it was starting to make them look foolish. January 14th, February 1st, SG&E drop, news drop. I got to be honest, my opinion, Stadia didn't handle that appropriately. They let Kotaku report it first, and then they weren't steadfast and preemptively fighting back to hate. And that's all. That was the life preserver that the hating media needed. Oh my God! Thank you, good. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God.
Right.
Now I ain't got to pivot back from what I said. Now I can double down on it. But I want to show you guys something else, Storm. Here's the tweet that I sent in regards to Jason Schreier. And shout out to my brothers Broadband Bullies. I couldn't make the show last night because of my schedule, but I know they had a show talking about the Stadia stuff. And I love my brothers, but see, they're part of a bubble, a bigger bubble, where they're focused on news that comes from dedicated device gaming. All of you guys know that none of this information is new. We already knew this. Cloudy with a Chance of Games already reported, y'all. What? They reported back in October what Stadia was paying for exclusive content. You know what I'm saying? This is not new news, right? So, but my brothers, again, they follow that news bubble that their expertise is dedicated device gaming, but they really don't understand what cloud gaming. That's why when I was dropping the NASDAQ article, they had no comeback because they're not well embedded in the news. They don't understand that cloud gaming right now, Storm, is not trying to battle dedicated device gaming. They're fighting for their spot in the cloud gaming space, which is a 2% business, but it's estimated to be worth to soon be worth $8 billion. Its rate of growth keeps growing rapidly. It's now around 49% year over year. That's high. You know what I'm saying? It started off, I think, at like 500 million, went to $1 billion, and then it went to 4 billion, and then soon it's going to be at 8 billion, right? So it's profitable, and its rate of growth within the industry is rising. They're trying to vie for that space, which has a level of profitability. Once they get a stranglehold or get a place in that space, then they're going to start to try to compete with dedicated devices. But they know that's years away. But that doesn't mean that the capabilities are years away. The capabilities are starting to come to fruition in a lot of ways now. Hence why you see articles like this. But let me just go over what Jason Schreier said before, which a lot of people in the dedicated device world don't understand. Jason Schreier said, his story, he said, new for me on my failure of Google Stadia, missed initial sales targets by hundreds of thousands, tried to take on consoles rather than starting small, and then lastly, to bring in games like Red Dead, Google spent astronomical sums, tens of millions, right? Now, I rebutted that with, being that this is the best that Schreier could derive from his impeccable investigative work, was information he had already told us at launch, semi-right narratives, the Jack Buser comments that said, we know it's going to be years before console people come to this and say, ooh, this is something that I like. So that's half true, but that was conjecture from Schreier that was made to look like that's something that he uncovered. He didn't uncover that. That's something rattling in the back of his head. And lastly, info already leaked via Resident Evil Capcom leaks. Jason, you like 4-5 months late on this, brother. Maybe you need to give Duncan a call or somebody a call and find out, like Storm said, talk to the community and get better at this when it comes to cloud gaming, because you was off. Hit him up. You was off. And I said, because this is the best, basically what I'm saying, Storm, is that because this is the best that the impeccable Jason Schreier could come up with, this is actually good for Stadia. Because what it means is, and I'm not saying it's good for Stadia because we want Stadia to look good no matter, despite the facts. No, if Stadia got something crazy going on behind the scenes that's legitimately bad, put it out there. We want to know. We need to know as consumers. But the simple fact that the best investigative reporter could not find a valid argument except, I think instead of buying AAA games, Stadia should have invested in a bunch of Stardew Valleys. That's the crux of his argument now. If that's the best that he could get out of this, then that goes to show you that there's no concrete evidence that this thing is going away anytime soon. What do you think about that, Storm?
Hey, if people keep talking about these damn AAA titles when I'm still not seeing a major one on other platform right now, I won't call out the name, but y'all, I think y'all understand what I'm talking about. Psych, I'm calling that shit out as Xbox. I'm talking about Xbox. I have a Series X myself.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not seeing a whole lot of exclusives. And I saw, I remember the years that just passed and everything when people were talking about exclusives. Oh, man, we're going to leave Microsoft. So, man, I think that's a horse that's still worth beating. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring that up time after time, over and over again. Bring up the fact that some people saw the state of play as kind of like mediocre. Bring up the fact that the latest Nintendo Direct, and I'm not throwing shots at them, y'all. I'm just saying what some people are talking about. I just don't see them beating that like a dead horse, and that's my point here. It's not a shot at Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft or whatever, right? Directly. It's just that we're trying to help people understand and wrap our own heads around the fact that they're just out here hating on Stadia, man. And the more I think about it, I keep coming up with things like this, man. I go back to the negative latency. Stadia's out here working. It's kind of like, damn, that gameplay looks kind of good, man. Project Storm just dropped this in 4K. 6.4 just did a stream last night on the PC, and Rage 2 was over here looking kind of smooth, like it's on PC, on Stadia, for example, right? Now, then the anti-cheating. Hey, anybody that's played Outcasters, I'm just going to throw that out there. Shout out to Outcasters, man. Hell of a game. A lot of fun was had. A lot of fun is still being had in the community with that one. How many times have y'all run across a cheater or who you thought was a cheater? See, I waited.
Exactly.
Nobody said anything. Exactly. I'm going to keep on moving.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about cheating over here. Yep. So maybe we have a lot of cheaters out there. Maybe we have a lot who were like, damn, I need my hardware so I can manipulate it because I suck at gaming. I don't know, man. Maybe it's leaving me to think these thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Stadia's out here doing things that is hard for these other brands to do. I don't see Stream Connect anywhere else. Nobody has duplicated it yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, things like that. I mean, these have to be the reasons why there's so much hate, man. Why that agenda takes place in the first place, right? Why so many people are coming together to try to tarnish the image of Stadia, man. But going back to the money though that Google spent. Why the hell does that make a difference? I mean, I'm sure if they had the money to spend, that's why they spent it. Now, some might say, oh, they must be broke now because they closed SG&E. Yeah. Well, I don't want to go back into that one, y'all. Come on, man.
Well, can I say this real quick, Storm?
Look. You close something, you free up more money to do something else. They talk about that. Google themselves have talked about the fact that, yes, they are aware that they killed products, if you want to call it killing products and stuff, right? They are aware of that. In fact, I think it was Maj Bakar, somebody I read in an article that said that as the CTO of the company or whatever, you have to they learn from failure. They learn from failure, right? So all those, you talk about the Google graveyard and all that stuff, man. MM2K, have you ever failed at something? You know what I'm saying? I failed at things and it made me better. I'm like, oh, I don't need to do this way. Let me try this different approach right here. And then I came out more successful. That's all they're doing. But look, maybe I'm just a fanboy. I don't know. But what were you going to say though?
No, well, to that, the whole Google graveyard thing. Google has a community, and trust me, I'm somebody that is very familiar with Google. As far as how their infrastructure works, as far as how they, what type of employee base that they're looking for and their approach. I have some familiarity with that. What Google likes to do is they like to go to people and they like to create projects. Meaning, all right, you work on this type of innovation, you work on that type of innovation. So they'll have teams of people that work on a project and they'll flourish something. And then they'll take that the original format of said project and put it out there for people to use, right? And then as it's going through its motions, Google will look at it and say, well, you know what? We discovered that this part and this part and this part of this initiative, people really don't dig, but they really like the heart and center of it, which is this. So why don't we take the heart and center of that idea and merge it over with the heart and center of this, and we'll create this. You know what I'm saying? Like Google Music, for instance, now is YouTube Music. So if you want to say they killed projects, no, looking Google's culture and the Google graveyard list, the Google graveyard list is not an adequate litmus based upon Google's culture. What you can look at, though, is look at paid for services that have been completely wiped away, no iteration of it taken anywhere else. It's just completely gone. Who has more shutdown paid for services? Is it Google or is it Microsoft? And I'm telling you, my friends, Microsoft has more closed down, kaput, don't see it no more, paid for services than Google. So the Google graveyard thing is an outlier. Secondly, what I want to say, Storm, is here's what I think is going on, good brother. Because I see that, like, for instance, to double down on what you said, there's a new Eurogamer article. They say, new reports detail Stadia's demise. Now, if you say that something details Stadia's demise, that means that it's going to die, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's dead. It's a foregone conclusion. This is where I'm proving to you, and those that want to die on this hill and say, oh no, the media is just, it's art. So they're just having arts with words. No, it's misleading consumers. The article reads, new reports detail Stadia's demise. Now, in the last paragraph that's supposed to wrap it all up about Stadia's demise, it reads as follows. With its in-house development ditched, Stadia's future appears to be helping outside games. They go on to say, the latest entry in the Pixel Junk series, which is set to launch exclusively on Google Stadia on March 1st, 2021. It will be interesting to see if, given recent developments, Pixel Junk Raiders also comes under. Why is there so much doubt in that paragraph? It'll be interesting to see. It appears. That's not conclusive. Like how your headline is. Your headline is conclusive. New reports detail Stadia's demise. Not Stadia's first party demise, but Stadia's demise. You see the mind F and the mind trickery they try to play with you? That's why we tell you. You can't listen to these Daddy Device publications. I hate to tell you, unless for pure entertainment, you can't listen to these podcasters, these content creators that talk about cloud gaming that haven't done their research. If you're looking to be educated in this, you can't listen to them, Storm. I'm sorry. They were all in shock over old news, stuff that we knew early last year. That says everything.
So listen, I asked some of my Xbox friends who we constantly get at it together. Once we get together, man, it's on. You know what I'm saying? So I asked them. I said, well, they were like, yeah, because cloud gaming, I told you, it's just not there yet. It's not taking off anytime soon, man. There's no future for it and all that, right? So I said, if that's the case, why is xCloud a thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, and then they didn't have any answers. But Jason Schreier said, and see, that's the thing, man. Somebody else said it. I'm like, when are you going to pick up the controller yourself?
Thank you.
When are you going to come over and jump into the community and have a conversation? And when are you going to do some research using your own eyes to go see all the thousands of videos that have been made by the community or whatever, and those who just wanted to try the platform now that they have access to YouTube streaming and all that stuff, right? So I mean, it's real simple. I don't have to be all long-winded. See, some people think because they put a lot of words out there, like you're seeing in some of these articles and everything, because you put a lot of words out there, that you got your argument and you won that argument, you know? So that's not always the case, because I just hit them with simple questions. Well, I asked them, like, why did Microsoft jump into it? Why are they investing into this cloud space? Why is Sony? Well, Sony just, it was kind of like a compliment, you know what I'm saying, to what PlayStation already had. They didn't really go into it with the goal that PS Now was going to take off and then I looked at it, I said, well, do you think that there's any limitations that these other companies have that we're not seeing their technology do what Stadia is doing right now? Then they went to GeForce Now, MM2K. Well, GeForce Now is trashing Stadia because you can play with ray tracing on and all that stuff. I said, well, that's true, but I just did a stream and I did a comparison, a Sekiro video or whatever. And in that video, I went to Stadia versus GeForce Now. That was a hell of a stream, by the way. And then I showed people maxed out visual settings and everything. GeForce Now was soft as hell. This is what I've been saying the whole time. So because I see that, I got to go with what's in front of my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go with what MM2K or anybody tells me. I'm going to try it myself. And we know that people have not been trying the platform, which is the sad part, because I'm not listening to anybody that I haven't seen hold a controller like a John Scar. Shout out to John Scar. Hold the controller in his hands, play the damn game, and then write a piece on it. Now, hold on. I said that I'm not going to trust a damn thing that anybody says who I haven't seen putting the hours in with a Stadia controller in their hand, preferably a Founders controller, which lets me know that you jumped on from day one and you were really serious about this whole thing. You just didn't want to write a piece on it. You really wanted to see what Stadia had to offer. Now, it may not have been for that individual. I do understand that part, but your words don't mean a damn thing to Project Storm if you're not over here putting them hours in, man.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I'm going to say this before, because we got like 12 minutes left before our good brother Eddie Player One, and he doesn't have a link yet, but I'm going to put a link to his video out there, to his channel out there. But here's the timeline that I think that we've appropriately outlined. Well, we had Cyberpunk 2077. It caused a reversal of the perception of Stadia. A lot of people had to backtrack, and it led to the Forbes article. Stadia is the true next-gen console. And many, not all, but many had to begrudgingly solidify the worth of Stadia because of how Cyberpunk played on it. Now, we had some people that fought back with some silly stuff like Digital Foundry. They went to the parking lot of the Fat Burger and siphoned 2G internet. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
While they was in their Dodge Beetle. You know what I'm saying? And Stadia still was kicking ass on the 2G network that they was on, right? Now, in the slow and the disappointing months for new consoles, let's be real here. You got a lot of people, and I highlighted it on this platform. Richard Review Tech said, look, these next-gen consoles aren't ready. Project Storm even talked about how people were disappointed with the Switch. People are grumbling about this state of play or whatever it was for PlayStation. Xbox still ain't got no games they launched for those. People are really begrudgingly looking at the $500 that they spent, and they feeling some type of way.
People were pissed off about Skyward Sword on Nintendo Switch being $60. People, we don't make this up. The HD version of the game. Shout out, because I love the Zelda series. I haven't played Switch in a while, y'all, but that don't stop me from appreciating what Nintendo does. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line here is, though, these are the points. Go ahead.
But that's how people felt. That's how they felt, right or wrong, right? So you have that dynamic, and you got the mainstream media like, damn, Stadia might get a big push from this. How is this going to affect everything that we've said? How is that going to affect the relationships that we already established if we're starting to see more and more people go to this platform that honestly, y'all, we ain't done no research on? It was just fun kicking them and getting clicks and having a gateway from our Stadia hate articles to our main articles. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to research this thing. Oh man, I don't feel like doing that. Oh man. Then the SG&E news come out, right? And again, it was handled sloppily. I'm nobody's denying that. But that was the life raft that they were looking for. Thank you, Jesus. And ever since then, they've been on an attack because they are so scared of cloud gaming, which again is only projected to be a 2% business in 2027.
Now, how do
There's
you know they're
nothing to be
scared? How do you know
afraid
they're
of.
scared, though, You made a bold statement. How do you know they're scared, man?
They're scared. They're scared because look at the reaction that came from that article. The best next gen video. Look at the words from the writer themselves. I have to admit, I didn't really expect to be saying this. But Google Stadia is the most next gen console in the market. And another thing that I'm hearing, Storm, like even though you heard people trying to throw GFN versus Stadia, what I'm hearing now, based upon what's being reported on with Stadia, what was being reported on with Luna, people are saying cloud gaming is a joke altogether. I got into a debate with somebody behind the scenes, shout out a good friend of mine, that said GFN has been out in demos since 2017. It only reached 6 million people. How was that a success? And I'm like, yo, y'all really is that ignorant. Cloud gaming is only a 2% business. Normally, with a console, its first year, it generates anywhere between 8 million to, at the high end, 14 million users in the first year. So if you're a 2% business, 2% of that is like, what, less than a million? GFN hit 6 million users. That's a range of 45% to 85% of what consoles is doing. Now, I don't know where Stadia is at, but I believe that I think Stadia has come across around 3 million hands, at least. I'm going to say Stadia come across 3 million hands. That's
I'm
still
happy with the
more.
fact that they got over 1 million. Yeah. I'm happy with the fact
They got over 1 million. And I
know that.
I want to say around 3 million people at least gave it a shot. How many concurrent users it has, I don't know. I'm not saying they got 3 million concurrent users, but from numbers that I've seen, I want to say it's going 3 million people at least gave it a shot. It's going to cost 3 million hands, right? So that's still more than the OG Xbox did at launch. And again, this is a 2% business. This is why they're scared, because they love their dedicated devices, Storm. Any final thoughts?
At some point, they have to understand that the industry evolves, man. And if you really call yourself a gamer, you have to understand that there has to be evolution. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Nintendo innovating, for example, we wouldn't see the Switch, the success of the Switch, for example, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, innovation has to occur, which is why we're seeing the VR headsets and all this stuff from PlayStation and other brands. You just have to think like that. Do you want gaming to be stagnant and stay in the same place for the rest of our gaming lives, y'all? Is that what that's what you want to see? I mean, you don't want to see gaming evolve at all. AI, you know what I'm saying? Graphics, none of that stuff. Sound, you just want it all to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want to go. I know we don't have much time, man, but I just want to leave it out there in the air. You know, it's all about the evolution of gaming, man. Like, but here it is, xCloud will be released on PC and desktops very soon.
Mm-hmm.
xCloud will eventually come out of beta. Luna will too. When they come out of beta, I better not hear the narrative be, now cloud gaming is here to stay.
Oh, you know,
I better not hear that. It's going to be a problem if I do.
You're going to hear that. So my final thoughts are that the game media tried to bury Stadia. They tried to say Stadia is dead. So the burden of proof is with them, because Stadia themselves said, we ain't going nowhere, and we're just reallocating assets. And I think, and then from notable actions, we started to see fruitions of that. Outriders went from, just like that overnight, Outriders went from coming out later this year to now it's day and date. You know what I'm saying? So The burden of proof is with the media. Until the media can come up with something conclusive, which they haven't, they failed miserably at. Storm, I'm keep playing my Stadia. The haters can say what they want to say. My advice to all of you listening is just to keep gaming, keep producing your videos, keep streaming, keep up the Stadia Super Saturdays, keep up the Stadia Bash, keep doing y'all damn thing. We're going to keep doing our damn thing, because the burden of proof is with them. They got to prove their case, which they haven't so far. So, real quick, Storm, because we only got like 4 minutes, and I want to drop what Eddie Player One's channel is before he goes live. Matter of fact, I'm going to pin that in a little bit. give me your thoughts on this whole cross-play initiative and how impactful that could be for Stadia. We got Outriders April 1st with full cross-play, and we got Destiny 2 coming this fall with full cross-play. What are your thoughts real quick before we go?
Monumental, man. It's monumental to the platform. It's monumental to gaming, bro. We're talking about exclusivity. Some people feel that exclusivity is anti-consumer, man. Now we're talking about, I know we're talking about crowd play and all. I mean, cross-play. Damn, now I messed it up. And I just got on you about all right, cross-play is integral. It's a valuable asset to have when it comes to cloud gaming, especially on a platform like Stadia.
Yes.
Now, what do I mean by that real quick? Well, it's quite simple. Like, if you had players already in the ecosystem, in the Stadia ecosystem already, and they're scratching their head and they're walking around and they're looking for any signs of hope and rainbows and everything, right? Well, to be able to play with their friends who are on other platforms, where a lot of us come from other platforms. So we left some friends over there. Some of us go back and join those friends over there every damn day, right? Now, crossplay just makes it all the more appealing. You know, you have a platform like Stadia, you can play it in different ways. We don't have to get into that. Another reason why it's being hated on, for example. But it's just a valuable asset to have, because now it's saying to your Stadia community, your fan base, we got y'all. We know that there's not a lot of multiplayer lobbies and stuff popping like that right now, but this right here is going to rectify that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to solidify the fact that we are here to cater to your multiplayer needs. That's what I think about it. What about you?
No, I think it's fantastic. It's what Stadia needs. I think it's what Stadia needs in this reshuffle. Again, when you do poll after poll after poll, people don't say Stadia needs exclusives. They don't say Stadia needs a whole bunch of Stardew Valleys. They say Stadia needs the AAA exclusives, poll after poll, and they need them day and date. So when you get those games day and date, if they have multiplayer aspects, because the user base is not as big as you would like it to be right now to maintain it itself, it's imperative that you have crossplay to see the success that you see, like with games like Division and stuff like that. And I don't think $10 million is a waste. If you got to pay $30 million to get Call of Duty on there, damn it, do it. That's spit in the bucket for AAA money movement. So all that is bullpucky to me. But those are our thoughts. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. As you can see in the links above, and the link above pinned, go join Eddie Player One. I'm going to put it in here as well. And also, as a big or programming note, this show alternates channels every week. Next week, it's going to be on Project Storm's channel. Go in the description, click the link to his channel, Project Storm, and subscribe to him, or you're going to miss next week's episode. Next week, do you think we can announce it now who our guest is next week?
You know what, man? Save it.
Okay, we got a special guest coming next week, because I know they said something on your channel, so I didn't know if they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, we could have put it out there, but we'll save it. Yeah, we
got a special guest next week. You're not going to want to miss that show. Trust me, a special guest next week, and that show is going to be on Project Storm's channel. So if you don't sub to him right now, so you can get the notification of it, you're going to be ass out. All right. With that said, thank you guys so much. Y'all have we forgot your donation? Daryl, he said we forgot his donation. I think we got Daryl's smart. Oh, he said Stadia. I'm sorry, Daryl. With the $5. He said Stadia's here to stay. Funny Lifty's publications fool you with regurgitated information. Hey, Daryl, sorry about that, man. Thank you so much, good brother. Sometimes my half a good eye don't be working, but thank you, sir. I appreciate
all the donations, man.
Hey, look, here goes Eddie Player One. He dropped his link in the what's it called? I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. Go to Eddie Player One right now. Peace.
Peace, y'all.